Hello. In today's online class, we are going to discuss a topic in 9th standard, and the topic is circulatory system. So before explaining the topic, let me give you a small introduction regarding the circulatory system. Circulatory system is a system which is meant for transportation of certain substances throughout our body. And in the major components of the circulatory system are heart, blood and blood vessels. This is the diagram of human heart. We already know that the human heart has 4 chambers. The 4 chambers are, one is left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium and right ventricle. These are the 4 chambers of the human heart. The next component of the circulatory system is the blood. The blood performs various functions. The human blood, which is red in color, which is due to the presence of the pigment called as hemoglobin. So let's discuss the function of blood in detail. One of the function of the blood is the blood carries respiratory gases. The respiratory gases are carbon dioxide and oxygen. Oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we take oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is considered as a metabolic waste. So one of the function of the blood is the blood helps in the transportation of respiratory gases. We human beings maintains a constant body temperature, and this constant body temperature is maintained with the help of the blood. The blood helps in maintaining the constant body temperature. There are certain chemical substances in our body. The chemical substances which are produced inside our body is termed as hormones. The hormones has their own target tissues. Target tissues are the tissues in which the hormones are acting. The hormones are acting on certain or specific tissues. Such tissues are called as their target tissues. These hormones are carried to their target tissue by the action of the blood. So we can consider blood as the carrier of hormones. Blood helps in the transportation of waste materials. The waste materials are transported with the help of the blood, and also the blood helps in maintaining the defense system of the body. The defense system is actually possible by the action of the blood. So these all are the functions of the blood. Let's talk about the blood vessels. Blood vessels are of 3 types. One is arteries, veins and capillaries. Okay, further explanation will be given in the next classes. So I will give you a small outline regarding the heart. Human heart, very important organ which is well protected inside our body. The human heart is protected inside the rib cage. The human heart is located in between the lungs and which is slightly tilted towards the left. The heart is protected by means of a double layered membrane. The double layered membrane is called as pericardium. I repeat the term pericardium, which is very important, which is a previous question. The heart is protected by means of a double layered membrane called a pericardium. In between the layers of the pericardium, there is a fluid. The fluid is pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid. The functions of pericardial fluid are: one is the pericardial fluid provides nourishment for the tissues of the heart. The pericardial fluid provides nourishment for the tissues of the heart, and also pericardial fluid act as a lubricant. Okay, the heart, which consistently the heart will beat, because there will be movement in the heart. There exists a force which opposes the motion of this heart. You know, the force is, it's definitely the friction. Friction develops between the heart and the body membrane. So it has to be reduced, and it is reduced by means of the pericardial fluid. Here the pericardial fluid act as a lubricant, thereby reducing the friction between the heart and the body membranes. Now let me give you a small outline regarding the total process involved in circulation. Let's start with the lungs. During inhalation, we are inhaling oxygen. The oxygen reaches the lungs. From the lungs, the oxygen mixes up with the blood, and the blood becomes oxygenated blood. The oxygenated blood. The oxygenated blood is carried to the heart through pulmonary vein. Here you can see pulmonary vein. The oxygenated blood is carried by pulmonary vein. Through pulmonary vein, the oxygenated blood reaches the left atrium. This is the whenever the oxygenated blood reaches the left atrium will contract. The left atrium will contract. As a result, the oxygenated blood from the left atrium moves to the left ventricle through a valve. The name of the valve is called as bicuspid valve. I repeat, bicuspid valve. Okay, the oxygenated blood moves through the pulmonary vein, reaches the left atrium. From left atrium, it moves to the left ventricle through a bicuspid valve. The valves prevent the backflow of the blood. The valves prevent the backflow of the blood. So whenever this oxygenated blood reaches the left ventricle also, it also compresses. It compresses. As a result, the oxygenated blood moves through the aorta. Aorta is the largest artery. The oxygenated blood moves through the aorta. Through aorta, this oxygenated blood is supplied to various parts of the body. The oxygenated blood is supplied to various parts of the body, and each and every cell receives the oxygenated blood, and they become deoxygenated. When the oxygen is removed, then the blood becomes deoxygenated, or we can say it is impure blood. That impure blood receives carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide content will be more in that blood. So that deoxygenated blood is collected by superior vena cava. Vena cava collects the deoxygenated blood from various parts of the body, and this deoxygenated blood reaches the right atrium. From right atrium, the deoxygenated blood moves to the right ventricle through another valve. The name of this valve is called as the tricuspid valve. I repeat, tricuspid valve. The deoxygenated blood moves through the vena cava, reaches the right atrium. From right atrium, it moves to right ventricle through tricuspid valve. Due to the compression of the right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood moves through the pulmonary artery, and it reaches back to the lungs, and the carbon dioxide is removed from the lungs. So that is the total process involved in circulation. I will explain it once more. The oxygenated blood from the lungs moves through pulmonary vein, it reaches the left atrium. From left atrium, it moves to the left ventricle through bicuspid valve, and from left ventricle, it moves through aorta, and this oxygenated blood is supplied to various parts of the body and gets deoxygenated. The deoxygenated blood is collected by vena cava, and through vena cava, the deoxygenated blood reaches the right atrium. From right atrium, the deoxygenated blood moves to the right ventricle through tricuspid valve. From right ventricle, due to the compression of this right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood moves to the pulmonary artery, and finally it reaches the lungs. From the lungs, the carbon dioxide is removed outside. During one complete circulation, the blood enters the heart 2 times. The blood enters the heart twice, and hence this circulation is called as double circulation. Okay, let me explain this double circulation in detail. Through pulmonary vein, the blood enters to the left atrium. So the first time the blood is entering the heart. From left atrium, it moves to the left ventricle. From left ventricle, it moves out of the heart. Okay, it leaves the heart and gets deoxygenated, and it is collected by vena cava and enters the heart through right atrium. Again, the blood is reaching. From right atrium, the blood moves to the right ventricle. From right ventricle, it moves to the pulmonary artery, and it is being forwarded to the lungs. So during one complete circulation, the blood enters the heart twice, and due to this, it is called as what? Double circulation. This is the total process involved in circulation. Thank you.